Okay, we're now going to get into part 3, which is our internal examination of our sheep brain. So we're now going to cut the brain in half. So you're going to take your brain and place it again so that you see the superior view of the cerebrum. So the curved top of the cerebrum is facing up. And you're going to use a scalpel to slice through the brain along that center line, so you sort of already have a path that you can sort of trace to cut the brain in half. And you're going to be going, starting with the cerebrum, going down through the cerebrum, cerebellum, spinal cord, medulla, and pons. And then you'll separate the two halves of the brain and lay them facing up so you can see the inside. So I'm going to do that now. So starting at the cerebrum. So I'm through the cerebrum, now I'm going through the cerebellum, through the medulla, pons, and the spinal cord. And you might just need to, might have a little left if it didn't quite go through, that you need to just kind of go through and separate. Okay, so we can now see the internal structure of the brain. So just for examination purposes, I'm going to move one side out of the way so we can just see, or just look at one of the halves. And you can see they're identical and pretty much in their structures that they contain there. Okay, so looking at the inside of the brain here, we can see white and gray matter very distinctly. We can see the inside of the cerebrum and the pattern of the white and gray matter there. We can see, you know, the brain stem, I'm sorry, did I say cerebrum? I meant cerebellum if I said cerebrum. So we can see the inside of the cerebellum, we can see the inside of the cerebrum, we can see the corpus callosum, brainstem, diencephalon, all of those structures that we've been talking about in class. So identifying some of those here. So looking at the brain, we can see, again, the cerebellum here. And again, we can see that white and gray matter. We can see the cerebrum. Again, looking at that white and gray matter. Here we have the spinal cord. We have the medulla. We have the pons and the midbrain as well. And then we can see the corpus callosum, which, remember, connects the two hemispheres of the brain together. So that's that large fiber tract connecting the right and left side of the brain together. Looking at some other parts here, we can see the parts of the diencephalon. So we're able to see the thalamus, which would be right in here. The hypothalamus, the pituitary would be right off of here. Sometimes you can't see it real well, but it'd be right off of that hypothalamus. We can see the pineal gland right here. So here is that part of the epithalamus and the part there that makes the cerebrospinal fluid. So we can see all of those different parts. Remember, the hypothalamus, the thalamus, and the epithalamus make up the diencephalon of the brain. And again, we can't see any of this diencephalon here unless you do this sagittal section and look at the interior of the brain. We can also see here the optic nerve. Looking at the lateral view there, internal lateral view, we can see the optic nerve. Again, pons, medulla, spinal cord. So this is all the brain stem here. So lots of neat and cool structures that we get to see inside of the sheep brain. Okay, so now you should just be thinking about all the different functions that go with those different structures. And you're pretty much done with your sheep brain dissection. So you can keep looking at the sheep brain, making cuts if you'd like, but when you're all done, make sure everything's cleaned up. The brains can go in the trash can, and everything needs to be washed very well with soap and water and put back where you got it. I hope you had fun with this dissection today, and I hope you learned a lot about the sheep brain and were able to identify a lot of the structures. As always, if you need anything from me, just let me know. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Have a great one. We'll see you later.